What if healing doesn't mean that your family stops hurting you? I want you to sit with that thought for a second because I think we've been sold a lie about what growth and mental health actually looks like as we make progress. We think do enough therapy, read enough books, set enough boundaries, and eventually you'll reach this place where your family cannot get to you anymore, where their comments just bounce off, where you're this enlightened, unbothered version of yourself who can sit through holiday festivities, holiday dinners, like some kind of an emotional monk. But here's what nobody tells you: that's not real. That's fantasy. And chasing that fantasy is actually making you feel a lot worse. Hi, I'm David Osuji, a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner in the Dallas area. And I work with people on this exact issue every single day. But recently, my mom made a comment about my career. One comment, and I felt like I was 16 years old again, defending myself like I was in my childhood kitchen. And I thought, what is wrong with me? I literally do this for a living. How did I succumb to this? But then I realized nothing is wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with you. We've just been measuring success by the wrong metric. So today, I want to share something that completely changed how I think about family, holidays, and what healing actually means. Because the goal isn't what you think it is. And once you understand what it actually is, everything gets easier. Let me tell you about Sarah. She came into my office 2 weeks ago before going back home for Christmas with her family, completely frustrated. She said, I've been in therapy for 3 years. I've done the work. I'm a different person than I was, but I'm still dreading going home because I know within 5 minutes of walking in the door, my sister is going to make some passive aggressive comments about my weight. My mom's going to ask why I'm still single, and I'm going to lose it. She looked at me and said, why does this still happen? When does it stop? And I had to tell her something that initially disappointed her, but eventually freed her. It might not stop. That's it. It might never stop. They might always know how to hurt you, but that doesn't mean healing isn't happening. Here's why. Your family knows how to push your buttons because they installed them. Your mother wasn't just present during your childhood, she was actively shaping what felt safe and what felt threatening. Your father's approval or disapproval literally wired your nervous system. Your siblings were there during the formation of your deepest insecurities and defense mechanisms. When your mom makes that comment, not just a comment, but that comment, the one with that specific tone, that particular inflection that communicates disappointment without directly saying it, she's not just annoying you, she's hitting a trigger that's been there since you were 7 years old. But here's where Sarah, and maybe you, have it wrong. She thought the goal was to reach a point where her family couldn't trigger her anymore. Like there's this elevated consciousness where you're just immune to it all. That's the fantasy. That's the fantasy that I'm talking about. And it's actually harmful because it makes you think you're failing when you're not. I still get triggered by my family. The difference is it used to take me 3 days to recover. Now it takes me 3 hours. It used to make me spiral into questioning everything about myself. Now I can feel it, name it, and know that it's temporary. Growth isn't about not feeling. Growth is about what you do with the feeling. Sarah left my office that day with a completely different goal, not to be unbothered, but to recover faster, not to stop feeling hurt, but to stop letting that hurt control her behavior. And that changed everything. So Christmas comes. Sarah goes home. And I want to walk you through what actually happened because this is where theory crashes into reality. She walks into the door, haven't even taken her coat off, and her sister looks at her and says, "Oh, wow, you look comfortable." I guess that's what happens when you're not dating anymore. No pressure to dress up, right? Immediate hit. Sarah feels that familiar hot flush in her chest, that cocktail of shame and rage, that impulse to either burst into tears or say something equally cutting right back. Her old patterns. Either shut down completely for the rest of the day or match the aggression and turn Christmas into a war zone. But here's what she did instead. She felt that activation and she did not act from it. She said, "Excuse me for a second," went to the bathroom, set a timer on her phone for 2 minutes, and just sat there and breathed in and out. That's it. No dramatic exit, no explanation, just removed herself from the activation zone until her nervous system could catch up to her brain. When she came back out, her sister tried again. "Are you okay? You seem really sensitive." And Sarah said, "I was so proud of her for this. I'm good." And then she changed the subject. No explanation, no defending herself, no therapizing her sister, no trying to make her understand that she's done 3 years of work. No, all she said is, "I'm good." Because here's the thing, you're not regressing when you feel triggered. You're being tested on whether you can do something different with that feeling of being triggered. The old pattern was feel bad, react immediately, make it worse. The new pattern isn't feel nothing, it's feel everything, pause, then choose your response. And that pause, that 2 minute bathroom break, that's what healing actually looks like. It's not glamorous, it's not enlightened, it's just functional. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. And this is the part that nobody warns you about. The rest of the day, Sarah's sister kept poking. Her mom kept asking intrusive questions about her dating and her love life. And then at dinner, her dad, who had been quiet most of the day, said this: "You know, Sarah, your sister just worries about you. We all do. You're being a little distant today." And that right there, that's it. The system is trying to restore equilibrium. The family system is used to a certain behavior from her. Because here's what's actually happening beneath the surface. Every family is a system with assigned roles. Sarah's role since childhood was the sensitive one. She was always the sensitive one, the one who could be teased, the one who would eventually blow up so that everyone else could be reasonable, calm ones by comparison. When she stopped playing that role, when she stopped taking the bait, the family system panicked. Not because they're evil people, but because her change required everyone else to adapt, to adjust, and to change. And people hate changing. Her sister doesn't know how to relate to her without that dynamic of mockery and defensiveness. Her mom doesn't know how to show love without intrusive comments that violate boundaries. Her dad maintains peace by making sure everyone stays in their assigned roles. When Sarah stepped out of character, they instinctively tried to put her back. This is your role. Play your role. And this is the moment where most people think that they failed. They think, I set a boundary and now everyone's upset with me. Maybe I should just go back to how things were. At least we had peace. But that wasn't peace. That was performance. Sarah did something radical. She didn't defend her boundaries. She didn't explain her growth. She didn't try to make them understand. She just kept enforcing her boundaries. When her dad said she was being distant, she said, I'm actually feeling pretty present. I'm just engaging differently than I used to. No apologies, no over explanation. When her mom kept pushing about her dating life, Sarah said, I'm not talking about my dating life today. And every single time it came back up after that, and it came up 4 more times, she calmly repeated the same statement. I'm not talking about my dating life today. Same words, same calm tone, no variation. And here's what happened. By the end of the night, something shifted. Not everyone was happy. Her sister was definitely annoyed. There was some uncomfortable silence. But something else happened too. Her dad asked her about her work, actually asked about her work, and actually listened. Her mom backed off. The dynamic started to shift. Just barely, it adjusted to her new position, to her new role. Because the system will resist change. But if you hold your position long enough, eventually the system has no choice but to reorganize around you. So Sarah comes back to our next session, and the first thing she said is, it worked, kind of, but it was really uncomfortable. And I feel guilty. Like, is it worth it making everyone else unhappy just so I can feel okay? And this right here is the part I need you to understand, because this is where most advice about boundaries completely fails you. Boundaries with family are messy. They're not clean like that Instagram infographics make them sound. For example, you say, I'm staying at a hotel this year. Okay, great. You set your boundary. But now your mom is texting you 17 times about how hurt she is that you don't want to be under her roof. Your dad calls to say you're breaking your mother's heart. The family group chat explodes with your siblings saying that you're being dramatic and causing unnecessary problems. You set a boundary. I'm not engaging in that conversation about my weight. Perfect boundary, right? Now there's awkward silence at the dinner table. Someone says you're being too sensitive. Someone else brings it up accidentally 3 more times to test you to see if you really meant it. This is the reality that nobody prepares you for. Good boundaries often create discomfort before they create peace. And here's what I told Sarah and what I'm going to tell you right now. You get to decide if that discomfort is worth it for you. Because I'm going to be really honest with you about something most therapists or even nurse practitioners wouldn't say directly. Some families aren't safe. Some family systems are so toxic, so resistant to your well being that the healthiest thing that you can do is significantly limit your contact or stop participating altogether. If going home means 3 days of emotional abuse, followed by 2 weeks of recovery, you need to ask yourself a hard question. What am I actually getting out of this? Is obligation enough of a reason to take the abuse? Sarah decided that the discomfort was worth it because underneath all the dysfunction, there were relationships she genuinely valued. She could see a path forward. But I've had other patients who made a different calculation, who said, actually, I'm not going to go home this year. And you know what? That was the healthiest choice they've ever made. That was also healing as well. There's no virtue in suffering through it. There's no price at the end for enduring maximum dysfunction. And if anyone, therapist, psychiatrist, psychologist, friend, society tells you that family is family and you owe them your presence no matter what, they're wrong. You don't owe anyone access to your peace, to you, at the cost of your mental health and your sanity. You just don't. Okay? So let me give you the actual practical tools because reframes are helpful, but you need concrete strategies. So before you go, here's a couple things. Sarah did something smart. She created multiple exit strategies. She booked a hotel room instead of staying at her parents' house. She told her family she was coming for 2 days, not 4. She drove separately so she could leave whenever she needed to. She scheduled a phone call with her best friend for 8 p.m. every night, a built-in debrief and reality check. See, you need escape routes. Not because you're weak, not because you're antisocial, but because you're smart enough to know that you regulate better if you know you're not trapped. During activation, while in the heat of the moment, use the 2-minute rule. This is non negotiable. When you feel triggered, and you will, you give yourself 2 minutes away from the situation before you respond. Go to the bathroom, walk outside, say something like, I need to grab something from my car. I'm going to take a quick call. This isn't avoidance. This is giving your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that makes good decisions, giving it time to come back online so that you're not just reacting from your amygdala, the part that only knows fight, flight, or freeze. See, 2 minutes can be the difference between ruining the family dinner and getting through it intact. Boundaries. Boundaries. And here's the script that you have to use. Keep it short, keep it clear, repeat it without variation. Things like, I'm not discussing that tonight. That doesn't work for me. I'm good, thanks. I'm not talking about that today. Here's the key. The more you explain, the more ammunition you give them to argue with you. The less you explain, the more powerful the boundary becomes. And trust me, they will push back. They will ask why. They'll say, you're being difficult. Just repeat the same phrase, the same words, the same calm tone. And trust me, it is wildly effective. After the event, see, Sarah did one more crucial thing. She scheduled an appointment with me the Monday after the visit to see her family, even before she left. She knew she would need to process. She knew she'd have feelings about it, probably complicated, contradictory feelings. She gave herself permission to feel proud and guilty, relieved and sad, strong and exhausted, all of it all at once. Recovery is not instantaneous. Your nervous system needs time to downregulate after high stress situations. Give yourself that space. It is not optional. Now, here's what I want to leave you with, because I think this is the most important thing I can say. You're not going home to have a perfect holiday. You're not going home to fix your family or make them see the error of their ways. You're not going home to prove that you've changed. You're going home to practice being who you are now in the environment that shaped who you were back then. That's it. That's the entire goal. You can be yourself even when the system is pressuring you to be someone else. You can hold your boundaries even when it creates discomfort. You can feel the old patterns rising up, the old roles calling to you, and still choose differently. Not perfectly, not without feeling anything, not without it being difficult, just differently than you used to. And if you can do that, if you can walk in triggered and walk out with your sense of self still intact, that's success. That's the whole game. See, Sarah told me the day after when I saw her, she said, I did it. It was hard. My sister still doesn't get it. I don't think she ever will, but I didn't lose myself. And that feels like winning. That's what I want for you. Not a Hallmark movie holiday where everyone suddenly sees you and validates all your growth. Not some fantasy where your family transforms because you've become transformed. Just you, staying you, even when everything around you is pulling you backwards. So, what if healing doesn't mean your family stops hurting you? What if healing means they can still hurt you, but it doesn't destroy you anymore? What if healing means you feel it, you survive it, and you recover faster than you used to? What if healing means you stop waiting for them to change and you just keep being who you've become? See, the people who installed your buttons will always know where they are and how to push them. They just don't get to press them anymore without your permission. This holiday season, expect to be triggered. Plan for it, prepare for it, and then practice something radical. Feeling it without letting it run you. That's growth. That's healing. That's the actual work. And if you need permission to skip it entirely, to say, not this year, or maybe never again, you have it from me right now. Do what serves your mental health, your sanity, your peace, not what serves other people's comfort or expectations or ideas of what family should be. You get to choose. That's the whole point of doing this work. Now, go practice being who you've become, even when they want you to be who you were. You've got this. All right? Share this message with someone else who you think will benefit from it. And as always, catch you in the next one.